In 1938, scientists at Harvard University began what's become one of the longest-running studies ever. The Harvard Study of Adult Development has been tracking people throughout their lives to find out what those who live the longest and stay healthy and happy into old age have in common. The study recruited more than 700 boys, some from the university and some from the local area. They ended up living very different lives, and some went on to do great things. President John F. Kennedy was one of the original members. It eventually included wives and children, so the researchers now have data on thousands of people, including comprehensive information about their physical and mental health and the ups and downs of their careers and personal lives. Initially, the researchers expected that the most important factor would be intelligence and good genes, but these turned out not to matter much. Other things that you'd expect to play a role, such as diet and exercise, had much more of an impact, but there was still something more important. Surprisingly, the study found that more than anything else, feeling connected to other people and having strong social relationships was the key to a long and healthy life. We underestimate how much of an impact the quality of our relationships has on our health and happiness. It's easy to focus on things like what we eat, how we sleep, and how often we work out, and see having good social connections as just a bonus. But while these things are obviously important, it's actually the opposite. Our relationships with other people are the foundation of a long and healthy life. Solid relationships are good for our bodies and brain. People with good social connections have healthier immune systems and are less likely to get diseases such as diabetes and heart disease. They recover faster from illness and have lower rates of depression, and as they get older, their mental abilities decline slower. The effect was so powerful that the study's lead researcher concluded that if he wanted to predict how healthy someone would be in old age and how long they'd live, the single most important thing to know wasn't their income or fitness levels, but how they felt about their social relationships. The people most satisfied with their relationships at age 50 were the healthiest at age 80, and this was true of everyone in the study, not just certain groups. Another way to live a happier and longer life is to incorporate healthy habits, which brings us to today's sponsor, Ritual. Ritual is an obsessively researched and transparently made multivitamin. Ritual helps people fill the gaps in their diet with no shady additives, fillers, or colorants. One product they offer is Essential for Men, which contains 10 high-quality nutrients such as vitamin A, D, omega-3, and zinc. Proper levels of these nutrients are often difficult to get from your diet alone. The delayed release capsule design is gentle on an empty stomach, and there's a mint tab in every bottle to keep your vitamins smelling fresh. Fill in the gaps in your diet with Essential for Men today. Ritual is offering 30% off your first month. Just click on the link in the description box below and use coupon code IMPROVEMENTPILL30 at checkout. Thanks to Ritual for sponsoring today's episode. Now let's get back to the topic at hand. So why does social connection affect health and longevity? The authors of the study believe that the lonelier we are, the harder it is for us to recover from stress. When people with strong social relationships experience stress, their stress levels quickly return to baseline levels because they have a friend or partner or family member to talk to about their problems. And this makes sense. We know how good it can feel to discuss our problems with someone who cares about us. It's important that these are people we trust, not to judge us, and who we can be ourselves around. Sometimes even just knowing that there's someone in your life who you could call at 2 a.m. when you're dealing with a problem is enough to keep your stress levels from getting too high. When lonely people bump up against life's challenges, they don't have anyone to turn to, or they don't feel like they do, so their body stays in fight or flight mode, and this leads to chronic inflammation, with stress hormones circulating constantly in their blood. The researchers say that this is as harmful to our health as smoking or drinking too much. Interestingly enough, the researchers found that close relationships are the most important, but they are not all that matters. All connections help keep us happy and healthy throughout our lives. Acquaintances, colleagues, neighbors, even the dog walker you pass by every morning, or the supermarket worker who you see on the regular every week when you're doing your shopping. Interacting with the same people on a regular basis is good for people's health, even if they were not close connections. So, how can we strengthen our relationships? Well, the researchers said that the key is to remember that just like physical fitness, we have to put effort into maintaining these relationships, especially today when there's so many distractions and when it's so easy to spend all day binging Netflix or scrolling through social media. You can reach out to a friend you haven't seen lately to ask how they're doing and suggest catching up. We often think that other people are busy and won't want to be bothered, but the truth is that we all like to know that there are people out there thinking about us, and sometimes people are lonelier than you realize. It's good to establish routines with friends and family so that you always see them at the same time, the first Saturday of every month, or every new year, for example, without having to make plans. Our relationships with the people we see all the time, like partners or housemates, can also become stale and boring, so try doing something with them that you don't normally do. For instance, if you never take a walk together, you could do that. If you want to make new connections, think about joining communities of like-minded people. Bonding over shared interests comes naturally and can often spark deep relationships. You can also aim to get more comfortable striking up conversations with people you don't know. Though many of us find it scary, multiple studies have found that talking to strangers is good for our well-being. One study followed people on their commute to work and found that those who talked to someone they didn't know, even when they didn't want to, got a happiness boost that those who just listened to music or played on their phone didn't. The main takeaway is that we're all different and we all need different kinds of social connections. Some of us are introverts, so we might only need one or two close relationships, but almost all of us need some, and the goal is to find out what works for you. I hope you found the research and tips useful. Besides that, guys, stay tuned.